Well, let me start out by clarifying that the Living Planet Index to which you're referring looks at wildlife populations. So it doesn't track extinctions. So in my area of Kenya in the 1980s, I may have seen zebra and giraffe and buffalo outside of the national parks in areas along the roads, etc. You still see those species. We have not lost those species, but the numbers of individuals are many, many fewer. And you have an image of elephants up there as one very, very heartbreaking example of declining wildlife populations.
Right, and there is actually a risk of extinction, is there not?
Yes, for species that get to very, very low levels, it does increase their risk of extinction, certainly.
Okay. Then tell us, I mean, what you suggest to curb what you're calling this runaway consumption. Is it a question of better international regulation?
Well, what WWF is calling for is something we're framing as the new global deal for nature and people. I mean, we really want to see a historic transformation. We want to be the first generation that changes our relationship with the earth. We need to flip this relationship on its head. We've got to have, development that does not ransack our environment. We will lose some things, but we need to develop in a way that is far more sustainable than what we are doing now. So we're calling on people, businesses, governments, organizations to all be a part of building a new approach that we're calling the global deal for nature and people. And it calls for people to use their voices as citizens, make better choices as consumers, and help move nature up the political agenda.
You know, a lot of
Certainly for
attention,
governments as well.
right? A lot of attention has been paid to issues that come really from China, which is a major consumer of wildlife for sometimes traditional medicine purposes, sometimes for culinary purposes. How much do those kind of mentalities need to be changed to protect valuable species like rhinos and tigers? For example, in this report that you've published?
Huge, huge. I mean, China is a very, very important and growing political and economic force in our world today. And you look at some of the things they have done, like placing a ban on domestic trade in ivory that has had enormous positive consequences, we hope, if it's properly enforced, for wild elephant populations in Africa. Today we heard that there's, some really sad news and quite a setback that China has reversed a 1993 ban and legalized the use of tiger bone and rhino horn for captive bred animals in hospitals. And they're now allowing domestic trade in antique tiger and rhino products. We know how difficult it is with ivory as an example to regulate illegal trade, and it just creates loopholes and pressures on wild populations. So yes, their activities can have a major effect on the world, right. And we need to work very, very, very closely with China, and I think yes, just work closely with the government and help in any way possible.